All right, welcome back. North American College Championship round number 18 coming at you live from Seattle, Washington. I'm Evans Clinchey, joined by Matt Canick. And Matt, it wasn't the most exciting round previously as we saw Dave just wail on Kevin Fraley, but maybe we'll get a more fun game here between Dave and John O'Loughlin around 18.
I don't see how this game couldn't be awesome. These guys are both so good at Scrabble. But, if Dave's going to draw the way Dave just drew, and if John's going to draw the way Kevin just drew, then no game could be exciting with those letters.
Yeah. I see Kevin in chat there saying that he was wondering if his score was going to be similar to the game that David Eldar had at Westpac, where he won 689 to 113. I don't think it was quite that bad for you, Kevin. You did break 300 after all. But yeah, definitely a good game for Dave in the last one as he improved to an absurdly good record of 13-4 plus 1,312 spread points. So Dave's in first place all alone with 13 wins, and three guys are at 11. It's Colton Kaler, it's John here, and it's Kevin, all at 11 and 6.
What do you think Dave has in that thermos?
Ooh, I'm
I'm
going to
going
go
to go
straight.
with a triple shot.
Yeah, I was going to say straight bourbon. Yeah.
I was saying a triple shot of coffee, but
Oh,
maybe.
caffeine. Oh, of course. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Of course.
But Evans perhaps knows Dave a little better than I do.
Oh, I think we both know him quite well.
Oh yes,
All right,
absolutely.
so
Many a late night with Dave.
just a reminder about the format of this tournament. Dave is in first place right now, but it doesn't actually matter whether he finishes first. All that matters is who makes the top four, because the top four players at the conclusion of today will advance to a four-player playoff tomorrow. And so currently both these guys, Dave and John, are in the top four. Dave in first place, John in third, but a whole lot of players are chasing that top four. After Dave, Colton, John, and Kevin Fraley, we got three players at 10 and 7. Alex Seaholm, Peter Armstrong, and Austin Shin, all very good players, and all are going to try to crack that top four as the day goes on. So a lot of intrigue this final day for sure.
I wonder if we're going to show Dave all afternoon, or if he continues to Gibsonize himself in this field. Maybe we turn to some of the 3 versus 4, 3 versus 5 games, people playing for their lives. That's just so much talent stacked all across this division, and it's crazy to think only 4 of these players could make it into the finals.
Yeah, there's going to be some really, really good players that missed the cut for sure. We were talking about that same pairings question you brought up last night, and how I think we want to show whatever offers the maximum drama on table one. So if it's not really interesting what Dave's result is, because he's in no matter what, we'll just move him and put somebody else on the top table. There's probably going to be some really good races for second and third and fourth place if the standings go like they're going right now.
That sounds like a great plan, and we will be here to carry the coverage all day. Actually, you guys get rid of me at the lunch break, and I'm going to be replaced. So lucky for y'all. John opens with, I think, a very standard GJU play. EIRU, not the best lead for him, but you got to do something. And Dave, AAFISSV. He's just missed on Fava-isms, which would be an awesome 8 with an M.
Ooh, yeah.
Got to figure out what to do. Man, this is a really tricky turn. VIAS beneath GJU looks to be a very nice board closing play. That also strengthens Dave's second S. I really like this option for him. Are you seeing anything else here, Evans?
Well, kind of the straightforward just points and leave play would be Favas making GJUS. That score is, I think, 24. So that's certainly an option just for straight up points and leave. And often Dave does play in a fairly straightforward, just take the valuable points and lead kind of style. But Vias is interesting. I hadn't thought of that, and I kind of like it now that you mention it.
Yeah, it's a great little defensive play. I said a phony on stream. Good. Ooh. All right. So Dave is going to open things up, give up a big scoring spot here, but this is definitely an equity play, and on double or gets rid of both that F and the V at the same time.
Yeah, so just keeping IS and hoping to draw a bingo pretty soon. That seems to be the idea. And if Dave draws a bingo, he will play it.
I mean, this is the knock on a play like Favas is after VIAS, John's got nothing to do. After this, even a crappy word like EUOI plays for 21 on that triple. You can play higher E for 35. You just made John's life a lot easier and burned an S in the process to do it.
It's true. Yeah. I'm sure John is relieved to have a nice opening to score some points with. His rack is not very good, but he'll score something thanks to the open board. Muffin with Tentacle points out in the chat, Uri is an option here, Ourie. Looks pretty strong.
Yep, 26 points. Everything's going to play right at H1 off that top triple word square. It's just a question. Literally, the first like 12 options in Quackle all start with H1. So
Yep.
just showing how clear and how clear and big that scoring spot is on a board that is otherwise lacking them. It's an interesting choice here. So John's going to score as many points as he can this turn, keeping the gross OU leave, but scoring a lot more than his other options. This is a tough one. I think Uri, though, scores 9 less, but I think you've got to forego the points and try to give your rack some stability. OU is just so bad. And I say that as an avid Texas Longhorn fan. OU sucks.
Nice. Yeah, it's a close call, but I think John just elects to take the points and hope for the best. And we'll see how that works out for him. 57-24 the score now as John takes the lead as a loud barking dog is in the next backroom there.
That is my my cheering section. Those are my dogs, Colby and Soren, and they're fighting over a snack. So I'll try to get this addressed. Sorry, folks.
I'm glad you have somebody cheering for you. So Dave has arranged Yenins on his rack. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to do with that. I'm sure he's not thrilled to see those 3 N's on his rack. He'll try to get rid of at least one of them, maybe 2, and score a little bit and hope for better prospects next turn. One option is just NY next to Hyrie, forming Neff and Ye. That would be 17 points and get rid of one of the N's. He could also get rid of 2 N's by playing a word like Hinny, Hinny. He could get rid of all 3 N's by playing Yenning into the G, keeping just the S. I see there's some discussion of Yennings in chat, and that is indeed phony. So I don't think we're going to see Dave play that.
And Scrabble's so freaking hard trying to remember which of those ing words do and don't take the S, especially when you know the difference between your bingo and your next best play is like 50-something points. Some people have really good control of the lexicon, and some people like me would try Yennings because it's way better than anything else.
So Dave does play Hinny, a nice middling choice there. Gets rid of 2 of the N's, scores a little bit. Seems just fine. John now with the lead, 57-39. Kind of a slow start to this one. Nobody blowing things open just yet.
Well, we're about to see an explosion, I think, as John's got his rack. I'm so sorry, everybody. I will be here for 3
I
minutes.
walked right into that. That is my bad.
You
I
really
didn't see boom on his rack until after I said it. Then
You're tossing me softballs, Evans. How could I not?
It's like you're good enough at punting without the obvious setup. I don't need to give that to you.
But I do.
All right, boom does indeed come down.
Boom comes down, and Dave's going to hit it back with aunties or something boring like that. Sinuate, just some baby list bingos that he's pulled into. Nice rack.
Boom
once again, Dave gets to decide, do I open a triple with my bingo or not? Sinuate plays either with UMS for 66 or with 3 overlaps, BA, GOT, and JOE, but that strings an S in a triple line. Will he score 15 more points and play Sinuate? I think the answer is yes, right?
Yeah, I think 15 points is a lot of points. We were talking about this last round when Dave was playing Kevin Fraley about how it's unclear like exactly how many points it's worth to kind of give them up for defensive reasons to avoid opening triples. And I think the last game against Kevin, he had a choice that was like maybe 4 or 6 points worse, and he made that, but 15 is just too much.
John has set up Turbo Fan on his rack, but not going to play. And Dave is going to play Sinuate for a lot of points. 81 for Dave catapults him into the lead.
And looks like Turbofan is the only 8 at all with those 7 letters plus an 8th letter. So no bingo for John as the B is not available to him.
But while you don't get the bingo here, you're still going to be able to kick a nice field goal. Plays like Futras or Fautors, Foutras, or Fautors, both play to the S and Sinuate. Unsoft also gets that F on a double letter score, plays for 39. So a field goal is a nice consolation prize when you're not going to bingo here.
Unsoft. What kind of word is unsoft? Just call it hard. Whatever. Dictionaries are weird.
Dictionaries are weird.
Looks like John has arranged Faux Turan on his rack. I'm not sure what he's thinking of playing based on Faux Turan.
Faux turban. Yeah, I don't know. He'll find something.
The Adam in chat asks, what if it's between soft and hard? What am I supposed to call that? I believe I can actually use my phone in chat. There is a word called semi-soft. I want to say that's a thing. Yeah, there you go. Semi-soft. That's what you call it. Unsoft is not between. It's just not soft. Never mind. This is not worth disputing. Okay, let's get back to Scrabble. Looks like John is thinking about Fortan. I don't understand what he's going to play. Let's just wait and see.
Some players telegraph their plays so easily to us by moving their letters around. Some players just troll us like Dave last time, just leaving bumhole exposed on his rack for like 10 minutes. Some leave them alphabetized and don't move. Ben Schoenbrunn is in chat right now. I'm not even going to tell you what he does. It's so despicable.
Yeah, the less we talk about Ben's ridiculous tile orientation, the better. I agree. John, to his credit, has been a ridiculous tile orientation person at some points in the past, but he's being very courteous on stream and arranging his tiles nicely. Always appreciated.
We do always appreciate that. Unlike the all 90 degrees sideways into a Walton approach, or the scrambled randomly Ben and Matthew O'Connor. It's too early in the morning, even on the West Coast, for me to handle that.
Yeah, I need to have the letters arranged nicely, or I just can't. I just become illiterate. I can't read.
I didn't know you could read in the first place, Evans.
That's a good point. I kind of can't. I'm
okay.
borderline.
Got to call out your bluff when I hear it.
Yeah, it's always appreciated. Keep me honest.
Yep, absolutely. That's what I'm here for.
Meanwhile, Dave is drawing an interesting rack. He's got the W and the Z and the K. Lots of fun. Maybe we'll see a play like. We're going to see a play like. I think we're pretty likely to see John block that triple with something, whether it's like you were saying, Thotors or Futras or Unsoft. Those are his best plays. They score a lot of points. Oh, it looks like he's arranged Unsoft on his rack, so he's probably thinking about it. Unsoft is nice. It's almost as many points as the other two plays. It's 3 less, and it keeps AR, a nice balance of one consonant, one vowel.
I think Unsoft is a good play, but you have to be confident. In 5-point challenge, you can't try stuff. You have to be sure. And Unsoft.
He looks like he's deep in thought, but he does play it. Okay.
Yeah. All right. You can leave looking for a tell from Dave for a minute. Looked right at him, clicked his pen, and then hit his clock, and it's going to stay on the board.
It's a word.
It is a word, apparently.
That gives John a very small lead, 122 to 120. And it'll be Dave on turn with. Oh, he's going to challenge. Look at that. John gets a nickel.
Ooh.
This might be the first time we've seen Dave lose a challenge this weekend. I don't recall any others.
Yeah, take a screenshot, folks. This does not happen often.
It is only 5 points, so it's not a huge deal, but still, Dave is almost never wrong about a word, so it's just a rarity.
And yet, even if you're 95% on a word, if you're 90% sure it's a word, the return, the trade-off, you get 5 points versus I get a free turn and I can play whizzes to that S for like 1,000,000 points. Yeah, take a shot. Why not?
And I think it's important to kind of set aside your ego in situations like that. A lot of players don't want to challenge just because they don't want to be seen being wrong and it's embarrassing for them. But no, that's not the right mindset. You play the game to make the right decision. And if the right decision is to risk a mere 5 points, just do it. Don't worry about people are going to laugh at you or whatever. That's silly.
Yeah. Stay on that soapbox, man. There's so much pride and ego in Scrabble that causes people to do some bonkers stuff, especially in Texas where a lot of my opponents are older males. There's so much pride. I can sneak anything by anybody and they won't even hold it because they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that. I'm too proud to admit I have no idea what you just played. Take advantage of technology, guys. So this is obviously the best play for Dave, and he agrees and he makes it.
Yeah, a very nice Whizzier for 38. Puts Dave back in front for now. John has drawn the blank, but kind of a weird rack to go with it. 3 R's. Doesn't look like there's a place to play anything like Sorrier. What does he have? Computer, give me answers. No bingo is what John has. No bingo at all.
I love having the computer to just tell me. Otherwise, I'd sit there and stare at this rack for 4 minutes, having a breakdown about everybody making fun of me on the internet, and then would, just get in my own head and never want to play Scrabble again.
That's the best thing about commentating these tournaments and not playing them is all the words perfectly all weekend long. You never have to doubt anything. You have computers to do this for you. It's great.
I do wonder what competitive Scrabble would look like if everybody had a computer and you just had to try to make choices, but that'd be really, really boring.
A lot of luck, I would say. Pretty much luck is the number one factor determining who wins at that point.
Yeah, probably so.
So John is trying to figure out, what can I do with these 3 R's? Maybe there's a way to get rid of a couple of them and score something. Keep a good lead for next turn, try and bingo soon. There's a very nice double-double through the EA of Hyrie and Favas. You could play Arrears. It's a non-bingo double-double. It's only 28 points, but it does, score something with those R's.
Yeah, the S is very strong on this board, though, with that Joe's spot, one of the only big compelling bingo lines. So I would not like to give up the S if I can avoid it. There are other plays, BARRAT. Plays down the BA, and TZAR plays through the Z. I think both of those are better options. Yeah, the double double's there. Yeah, it's nice. I think you need that S.
Yeah, that's a good point. I see what you mean by that. Some great questions here in chat from long-termists, just beginner questions about Scrabble. We can address these a little bit. The first one is, how strongly does word knowledge correlate with Scrabble's strength? I think there's a lot of opinions on this, and I think different people have different philosophies. Matt, do you want to go first? What do you think about how strongly does word knowledge correlate with Scrabble's strength?
Yeah. So Scrabble's a really interesting game because it's got two overlapping facets. It's got the stuff you do not over the board, to prepare, the studying the words, the hitting the word list, learning the short and long stuff, the anagramming. You practice that outside of a tournament. And then it's also got the tactics, just sitting there trying to open and close lines, balance your rack, assess your opponent and the situation, read the room, read the board, and adjust your play according to that. And I think players who are very gifted at both without touching the other one at all have a ceiling of about 1,700. I've seen people who have never touched a word list but are very good tactically and play enough that they pick up words through osmosis. They can get up to about a 1,700 low Division 1, high Division 2 record. I've also seen players who are absolute word machines who just never really got the tactics or the strategy down, but they have incredible word knowledge. And their ceiling also seems to be around 1,700. So how closely does word knowledge correlate? Well, to beat Division 1, you've got to have easily the 2s, the 3s, nearly all of the 4s, some of the more useful 5s, and your highest probability 7 and 8 letter words, maybe the top 20% of those. Outside of that, a lot of people can kind of fake it in Division 1, myself included, just with some tactics and with sitting there taking your time thinking and playing mind games. But to be at the top, like the super elite players in this room, you've got to have probably 20 to 30 minutes of word study a day, every day, consistently for a couple of years to get yourself comfortable enough. So that's a long-winded answer, but that's sort of how I feel. It's essential, but not as essential as you think to be a top expert, but essential to be a top expert. What would you say, Evans?
Yeah, if you're talking about correlation, if you just look at the top players, just look at the top players in this field right now. The people who are at the top of the standings are Dave, John, Colton Kaler, Kevin Fraley, Alex Seaholm, Peter Armstrong, Austin Shin. Those are the players that have the best word knowledge in the field, and so it's not surprising that they're also at the top of the standings. That's not a mistake. The correlation is very clear. You can see it if you just look at the standings table. So yeah, I think that it's pretty clear that the players who know the words the best are going to do the best in the long run for sure. But as you're saying, Matt, there's a lot more that goes into the game other than just memorizing words. So yeah, there's a lot to it, but knowing the words pretty well is a prerequisite to being a top player for sure. Anyway, we can talk about this game a little bit. It looks like a couple of plays have happened.
Yes, and we'll get
Um,
back and answer some of the other questions in a minute. Those are great questions, but yeah, let's cover a little bit of the commentary first.
yeah, I'm going to update the score for you right now as Rake, Raik, comes down from Dave, which gives him a lead of 190 to 153. We're going to update that scoreboard in just a millisecond here. So, John, still holding that blank, but trying to get through this awkward rack. He had 3 Rs, and he got rid of 1 R, then he drew the Q. At least he has the U to go with the Q. That's not so bad, but still going to be hard for him to bingo until he kind of cleans up this mess a little bit.
I'm glad we got a good game though. I'm glad this one's not going to be, a 300-point drubbing. It still could be. Like Scrabble's weird and anything can happen at any time, but so far this looks close and the guy behind has the blank on his rack and we'll have some drama yet, I think. Jeez. What do you do? Do you play Bard for 14 holding QRSU blank?
I kind of think QSRU blank is an awesome leave. And like you're opening a lane where you can bingo with a 7 with an S at the beginning of it. Like that's kind of fun.
After
Um,
Bard, you're guaranteed 47 next turn. Like if nothing else, QURS blank leaves Kirsch and Czars for 47. And you're like,
yeah,
especially with 9 E's still in the bag, like an E is going to synergize with that very well. So Bard is a kind of aggressive play, doesn't score a lot now, but next turn, you're going to score 50 plus most of the time.
it's a great point. Looking at the tile pool there in the corner of your screen, it does say 27 consonants, 22 vowels. So you do have to be a little bit afraid that if you keep QRSU and you draw more consonants, you're going to be in trouble. But not much you can do about that if you're John. You are laden with many consonants no matter what you do.
I mean, with a vowel heavy pool like this too, I think I'm a little more inclined to make a play like Bard. I think, you could also make a case for SUQ and Czars right now, 28 points. But again, I've talked about how I think the S is very valuable on this board. Without it, your only options to bingo are really trying to find an 8-letter word from the F and T in Unsoft or from the N and Y in Henny. N and Y are terrible tiles to bingo from. So you're really left looking at 2 lines at the bottom without an S. And Bard's going to thwack both of those lines. So I don't know. If you're thinking about bingoing with this blank, you've got to kind of construct the board and construct your leave in a way that helps you bingo. I don't know what to do here. This is a very tough turn for John, and you can see he's using a lot of time. He's going to play Shuk, though.
I was actually wondering whether he might just play Kirsch right away. You mentioned the play of Kirsch. He could have just played it, burning the blank for 47 and keeping GR.
That would
But
cause some mind games, too. If you play Kirsch for 47 with a blank, maybe you're sitting on the second one. I don't know. I think so
yeah,
often
interesting.
Squared and Joe's or something for 100, though. In any case, RRD blank the leave for John, and he's found some relief with additional vowels, but another D is going to muck things up a little bit for him. We'll get back to his turn after we look at Dave, who's got some interesting stuff over here. BEGIITX.
Very interesting indeed. Seems like not the best board for the X. There's no like really awesome hotspots for it.
No, nothing at all. Fix it, the highest scoring option, FIXIT from the F in Unsoft for 30, or fixed, a similar option, depending on how you want to structure the vowels and the consonants and avoid X overlaps there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a hard turn, man. Lots of hard turns back to back. I think it's got to be fix it or fixed. Maybe you could make a case to play exit and UT next to Unsoft, but I think that gives up so much in response. It's got to be fix it or fixed here.
I think you're right, and I think that is eventually what Dave will decide as well. But it's not necessarily easy to land at that conclusion. So he'll take his time and think about it. Meanwhile, very nice find by Wander15 in chat. John, not Davis, John Yardbird with a blank B from the Y up top in Henny.
Oh, God, what did I
Very
say?
nice.
Bingo from that Y? John's like, I disagree. I'm going to hold RRD and do it.
I'm sure John knows that word. He's a big music fan. Shout out Eric Clapton and the Yardbirds. I think that's Eric Clapton, right? Actually, not sure now that I think about it. Yeah, Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page.
Yeah, it was
Sorry,
like
the Yardbirds.
and I don't remember exactly who's in it, but they were freaking awesome musicians in that one.
And indeed, John has arranged Ard on his rack. He sees it.
Ardbird on his rack. Yep. So Dave, just fixed back and forwards. I'm looking at the unseen pool, especially with eyes. The risk of duplicating or triplicating them can be such an impediment on your rack, both this turn and in the future. So if there are a lot of eyes left, and I'm on the fence about playing one or not, I'm always going to do it. I just don't want to draw more. There are 3 eyes out of 46 unseen to Dave, so the pool has less eyes, and I kind of like the way fixed sets up the X a little bit better, makes it harder for overlapping brainless plays. So I think I'd lean towards fixed slightly here, but it really depends on my mood. Actually, 2 blanks unseen, I'm probably playing fix it. Just turn over 1 more tile, try to get one. I don't know.
It's pretty close. Not a huge difference either way. Dave's just going to pick one. He goes with fix it. Seems reasonable. And I think we're going to see Yardbird come down, which is going to be awesome.
That is awesome, yeah. Somebody play some music. We get musical overlay here.
Ask our producers about that. I'm not sure.
I mean, you are the Coco guy who does stuff, so that sounds like stuff you could
I
do.
do some stuff, not that stuff. Try and keep up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Yardbird is coming here. Very nice play. There's only 2 bingos available. It's either Yardbird or Are Righted, which is only 63 points. So Yardbird, clearly the best option here, and John plays it right away.
Way to go, John. Nice find, nice play, nice sequence, and he's going to spring ahead of Dave Wiegand in a game he would love to win. 259 to 220, the score after the bingo. Dave now faces a 39-point deficit with not the best rack here, BDEEGOS.
Yeah, not a lot of great options with this one. You can
Dope.
play something from that D in Yardbird, like Dobe or Doge. But we're only talking about 21 or 18 points. Not a great score by any means. And Dave is now behind after that bingo of Yardbird.
Yeah, he's got to think about the shape of this board. You can't let yourself get walled in. If I'm Dave, one thing that makes me feel very good is that I hold the case S or the final S in this game. So playing from Joe with Joe's words is essentially mine to do unless the Y comes out, and John's got a 5-letter Y play to take that spot away from me. So having the last S is always good. It allows you to do some stuff that you couldn't otherwise do, make some setups you couldn't otherwise make, and be a little bit more aggressive. So despite Dave being down by 39 and not having the best rack, he's still very much in this game.
Absolutely. We got a long way to go. A lot of Scrabble still to be played. 35 tiles unseen. So anything can happen from here, certainly. Still a blank out there, which means a lot of volatility and who gets it and who doesn't. So we'll see.
15 vowels, 20 consonants, a ton of E's and O's unseen still. So I'm looking to play off E's and O's. Maybe something like Wodge, Wodge, scores okay, turns over quite a bit, gets rid of these E's and these O's that I'm likely to continue drawing. That to me feels like a reasonable option. Just keep things closed, take my time, wait until an S bingo with Joe's manifests, and then play that and win the game. That's my plan if I'm Dave.
Wait, you're planning to win the game?
I usually
I hadn't thought of that at all. I'm just like, that just didn't occur to me.
and this is why you've never beaten me, Evans, because you
I
don't
just
think
hadn't thought of that.
like this, whereas my big brain actually does try to get more points than my opponent and win.
Wow, your big brain. I should try to
Brain.
I should try to be more like Matt Canick sometime.
Everybody should try to be more like Matt Canick sometimes.
The world would be a weird place.
It would be a really weird place, man. I don't want to live in that world.
No, nor do I.
Dave could throw equity out the window and play beer to the R. It wouldn't be a good play, but he can make beer if he wants to. I really like
Beer
his
dogs.
So let's just keep things tight. Let's take our time. Let's turn over some tiles. Let's see if we find that blank. And let's get rid of a bunch of this garbage on my rack.
This might be a stylistic difference between you and me. I don't mind opening things up a little bit more than that. Like, I might be happy to play something like Dobe or Doge from that D, but these are small differences. I don't think either play is, clearly amazing.
I think Doge is fine too if you want to make that play. Like it gives your opponent a headache. I would rather wait to make this opening until I'm a little bit more in range. BDES is like not awesome,
That's fair.
but I'm also not very good at Scrabble. I'm just undefeated against Evans Clinchy and never beat anybody else good.
Pretty much. Wait, you just said else good. You implied that I'm good. That's your first time ever saying that.
Oh man. Ooh, okay. No, I found a play I really like a lot. OG'd overlapping Yardbird 4 times on the left. OGE.
Ooh, okay, okay.
24. We turn over 5 tiles, get rid of a ton of E's and O's that I'm going to draw more of. And it makes that Joe spot even more pivotal. Sets up the S again, making that big EDS back hook. I love this play of OG'd. Let's turn over the tiles. Let's keep things tight. Let's put some scoring pressure on. Ooh, I love OG'd.
Not bad. The leave is total BS though.
It is pretty BS, but last time Dave had BS on his leave, didn't he like bingo or something?
Probably. I don't remember, but probably.
OG'd is tough to spot with that blank, but I'm sure Dave will find it.
Yeah, like OB is one of the weirder twos, even with a natural B, but with a blank one, it's even harder. Hey, he chose my play. That means I'm a genius.
Evans is a genius. You heard it here. Dobe comes down for 21 points, sets up a big A spot in front as well, throws this board open, and we are going to see some fireworks here, folks. I think the next bingo wins, and we'll see who gets there first. That blank is going to be pivotal, and Dave has just picked it up.
Ooh, wow, he's got a nice leave, or a nice rack now, yeah. I don't think it's out of the question that we see more than one bingo from here, though. Like, it's very possible with this pool and this board that we see multiple fireworks and not just one firework.
Yeah, no, this is going to be a fun one, I think. As John now has to kind of scramble, figure out how he wants to address the new opening on the board. He's got a small lead. He's up 18 points, and it is his turn. He's playing really fast. Okay, but that's a really solid play too.
Yeah, it is the Quackle approved best play. 23 points, gets rid of the W and one of the O's.
So John says you opened the board. Great. I'm going to keep really bingo prone stuff and bingo before you. Let's go, Dave. And Dave says, I disagree. I've just drawn like Jesus Christ reincarnated, and I'm going to bingo on you first.
Absolutely.
One bingo hits the triple word here. I'm not going to say it out loud just yet. Dave will spoil it for you in just a few minutes.
Looks like chat's finding it too.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
D Grease is correct. Yeah, that is the best play by far. There's nothing else that scores even close to 77 points. And I'm sure Dave knows that because he knows all.
John's going to have a really high scoring counter. John's actually going to take the lead after D Grease comes down. He's not going to bingo, but he's going to kick another field goal. 38 points is available for John.
Oh, D Grease is going to block Pepperoni. That's very sad.
Oh, pepperoni, he's got it. Yeah, there's no way that stays.
I guess he would play Roan Pipe, not Pepperoni, but Pepperoni is the more fun word, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that reminds me, there's pizza for lunch today. Oh, hell yeah. All right. All right. So D Grease is probably coming down from Dave before much longer. He's given it a little bit of thought, but there's not too much to think about.
Well, we can stir the pot and start some controversy. Who degreases their pizza? Well, we're talking about pepperoni and grease. Who takes that napkin or paper towel and dabs it?
Oh, no. Terrible human beings, that's who. Gross.
Exactly right. Exactly. Rest in pepperonis, Roan Pipe. I love that.
Rest in pepperonis.
Oh, Dave's got to hate how this puts the blank on the double letter. He's going to look more like, come on, there's got to be something better. I drew this awesome rack, right? But again, we know it's not available. So after degrease, John is going to have the play of Boppier, Boppier, down from the B for 38 to put him up by 2. So that's probably what we're going to see here over the next 2 minutes. And just like that, a 2-point game with very few tiles on the bag. This could be interesting.
Yeah, Boppier would decrease the chances of, like I was saying, more bingos after this one because you're burning through a lot of the bag and kind of blocking up some valuable board real estate. Looks like Degrease will indeed come down. Dave finds the best play to the surprise of nobody.
Oh man. And look at that unseen pool. I see a ton of E's, a ton of L's, N's, and O's. So if somebody pulls like 3 L's, they're just gonna die in this end game. Nobody's drawn an L yet this game. I think you want to dodge those for sure out of this. They're landmines.
Yikes, yeah.
Let's see what Dave's got. L. Nope. There's 1. There's 2.
2? Oh. Only 2. You can survive that.
This should be an awesome rack, but those double L's really get in the way of doing anything good. So only 2 more for Dave to draw, but not what he was looking for.
As Chad has remembered, there was a game yesterday on stream where Alex Seaholm drew LLL, and he kept keeping it on his sleeve every turn. He wouldn't play any of the L's for a while. It was bizarre. It was the right play every time to keep LLL. It was just really a bizarre situation.
Scrabble is very much like baseball, and like once you think you've seen it all, like something else weird happens. Like I never thought I'd see someone keep LLL several turns in a row, but you just have to.
It's like scoregami, but it's leavegami.
Leavegami, I love it. I exchanged in a game one time holding EEE because I saw that there was 1 vowel left in the entire bag, and it was another E. I drew it immediately. So, every time you think you've done it all, like weird stuff happens, and you always have to change your approach in this game. Chat's pointing out if John does play Boppier here, he's going to get hit back by a second consecutive bingo of metal. Tall.
Yeah.
So Dave just putting on a clinic in what to do. Well, draw a bingo and then draw another bingo right after it, and you'll probably win the game. And man, John had to feel so good in this game. He had pepperoni, he had Roan pipe set up, and as long as he gets that bingo down, like he's in awesome position. And instead, Dave pulls the blank, bingos in his line, blocks his bingos, like a huge swing of events. And I'm still looking for that awesome term for when your bingo is blocked by your opponent's bingo.
Ooh.
It happens all the time. It sucks, and there has to be a really good term we can make up for it.
That's good. Let me think about that. I'm sure Chad has some input on that. What do you call it when somebody else's bingo blocks your bingo? All right, there's some questionable terms being thrown out there in the chat. I'm sorry I asked. Anyway, what's John going to do here? I'm not sure if he is thinking about Boppier. Oh, it looks like he's going to play Pier, P-I-R-N-T. 29 points, keeps the board closed, so no bingo for Dave here, no meddled. Very interesting.
This is a big decision for John, and one that's going to end up working out nicely for him, I think, because now this game's going to be interesting. If John doesn't draw an L, Dave could be in some trouble because he's just going to find more and more and more L's.
Yeah.
What is it? There's an L. Okay, that helps Dave a lot. Is that polyene? No, not quite.
Oh, he's got 2 N's. Okay. Yeah, not anything I can see there bingo-wise, but he'll keep scoring points and he'll keep this close. It's not like Dave's rack is super awesome right now. I guess he can play bimetal from the BI. That's interesting.
Bimetal is an option. I think you probably just keep things tight. Play something like Malted, making OPE and BID. Keep things small, tight. You're already up by 7. That's going to score an additional 30. Go up 37. Keep 1 tile. Probably going to win this game. I think that's fine.
Probably, yeah. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, 7 is not a big league, but if you could just keep kind of drawing reasonable racks, no whammies, you should just kind of keep pace and have that 1 tempo advantage the whole way.
Yeah, this is the play, and it's got to be Mulged too, given the surplus of L's in the bag. You want to play
right.
If you're confident Mulged is good, this is a really good play, and it's going to keep you out of trouble. Nice choice by Dave.
And if you're Dave Wiegand, you are confident that Malt is good.
Yes, you are. Unsoftly.
Ooh, the best play for John is a really nice board vision play. If you If you know your Collins 3s and 4s well, and you can spot a nice little insertion.
Ooh. Ooh. As John on hold, this is not a word. Dave already challenged unsoft. Is he also going to challenge unsoftly? Yes, he is. And
Oh,
back.
oh, didn't realize he was doing that. Okay. Yeah, that's going to come off.
That
Not a
is
good time for John to lose a turn. Yikes.
So what was that question? To what extent does word knowledge determine your success in the game? Man, this happens all the time where a game comes down to one word, one play. If unsoftly is good, advantage John. But any other play, I think it's still Dave in the driver's seat here. And you know, how confident are you? That's one of the racks where if you're solving alphagrams, there's really only one thing that can be, right? It's got to be unsoftly. You type it in 1 second and don't process it. But
Yeah.
knowledge so essential in this game, time and time again.
We've had a few games on stream this weekend that really came down to somebody charging off a phony at the right time and getting a free turn. And this looks like another one like that, as Dave, already up 37, now gets a chance to add to his lead. But yeah, the play I was talking about for John that he may still play next turn if he sees it is in between the BA and the T in Boom, Sinuate, and Fix It. You can fit the letter Y for bait, B-A-Y-T, and you can play Oni, O-N-Y, in that spot for 43. It is not easy to spot. It's a whole bunch of Collinsy stuff, but it's a cool play if you can find it. All right, Covet is the choice from Dave with his kind of weird 2Cs rack.
I was looking at the unseen pool after Dave's bingo. Like, what are the worst tiles he can draw? LLLLCC, and he's found them all. But because he picks up that free turn, he's going to be able to weather this storm and hold on. Now he's drawn Cholate, won't play, but you know, nice balanced rack as he's worked through the Drek. And I think Dave's going to hang on to win this one, but John's not going to go down without a fight. ONY is 43 points. Ugh.
So as soon as our laggy hotel Wi-Fi gets over its issues, the score will update, and there it is. Okay, 368, 311 is the actual score. Dave up by 57 points, and that should be enough as John can't quite make up that deficit here. It's being pointed out that in chat that Dave has now drawn bumhole and cathole in consecutive games. Cathole is an actual word, to be clear. Bumhole, not so much.
So why not?
You
I'm challenging you to add bumhole. That is a word people have said frequently and often. Make it
I'll
good.
go downstairs and talk to WESPA President Chris Lipe and see if we can make something happen. I think he's in charge of
the
whipping that dictionary committee into shape. So, Scrabble in chat asks, "Is a Catholic one who worships cat holes a catholic?"
Catholic, yeah.
Oh, a catholic is somebody addicted to cats. No, that would be a cataholic.
My name is Matt, and I'm a catholic.
All right, so John thinking this over. He's got 2 tiles in the bag. We happen to know that they are an E and a G.
He's dead.
Yeah, this looks to be just losing. Unfortunately. I think even without the phony, it was probably still losing for him, but it would have been much, much closer.
Oni would have made things interesting. Oh, he's going to make a fish here. He's looking for poly.
Oh, you could get it. The E is in the bag. He's got a 50-50 shot of drawing poly.
I mean, is it going to stay open? No. Right?
Oh, cathole plays. Oh, geez. That's brutal.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What is the word for when your opponent bingos and blocks your bingo?
Yeah, come on, chat. Tell us the answer to that question.
Is it called getting cat-holed?
I think now it has to be.
Right. Oh, and John didn't even find it. He drew the G anyway.
Oh, sad. All right, so the score is all of a sudden 451 to 313. That escalated quickly.
Surprise, Dave Wiegand almost has 500 points again. That's what he does so well time and time again.
Wasn't this a close game like 8 seconds ago? What happened?
I thought so. And then cat hole happened.
Agent Cosmographer in chat says he can't keep getting away with this.
Oh, but he will. He's Dave Wiegand.
It's like the meme of Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad. He can't keep getting away with it.
Oh,
That's how I feel about Dave Wiegand. He's like the Heisenberg of Scrabble.
as our number of viewers goes up, I know a lot of people trickling in from the latest great Will Anderson video, but just do a quick 10-second Dave Wiegand intro for us, Evans.
Yeah, he's one of the best golf players on the planet Earth. How's that for you? Yeah, probably the best in America, one of the best in the world. Incredible word knowledge, and he is dominating this tournament right now. He's about to improve to a record of 14-4 in this absolutely loaded field of top experts. He is crushing them.
He is crushing, and 2-0 today on stream as he takes this one over John O'Loughlin. Great game, well played. Yardbird, I think a really awesome find for John, and yet it really all came down to that unsoft to unsoftly extension, and Dave finding that blank at the end of the game. You know, he's relieved to have found it, but this looked really good until the end when it wasn't.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we have Evans driving our stream today. I'm going to let him make the call. And if we stick with Dave Wiegand mowing down every single shred of opposition in his way, or if we're going to pivot over to a different game and get some different blood on the stream, that is above my pay grade. But we do have 6 more games of Scrabble coming your way from Seattle, Washington, and the Knack.
Yeah, so as to your question about who's going to be here on table 1, so Dave is kind of running away with one of those 4 playoff spots. All he needs to do is finish in the top 4 to make tomorrow's playoffs, and at 14-4, he is almost certain to do so. So we're going to start to pivot to watching more of the 2nd and 3rd and 4th place players, and that means that coming up next on the stream is going to be not Dave Wiegand, but instead, let me just double check this and make sure. Yeah, it's going to be John staying at table 1 and facing Peter Armstrong in the next round.
Ooh,
so that's going to be a lot of fun. John is 11-7 after that loss to Dave, and Pete is 10-7 plus whatever happens in his current game. It looks like that one is still in progress. So yeah, two of the top 5 or 6 players in the standings going head to head. A lot on the line as both those guys, John and Pete, are looking to get one of those top 4 playoff spots. So a lot of intrigue there as we see what's coming up next. John versus Pete coming up soon. I think we're going to take a quick break here, just a few minutes, and come back shortly. And don't go anywhere because John versus Pete is coming up, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we'll talk to you guys soon.